Hey everyone, this is Jay with dailytexture.com. Today I am working with a random photo I captured on my street like 5 years ago. And I took this photo because I love German Shepherds. And I have no idea whose dog this is. It just came up and visited and walked around a little bit and then disappeared, and I've never seen it again. But I got a few pictures of her, and I stumbled across them this morning as I was going through my files, and I thought, she might be good in the new Summer Water Whispers collection, which is a collection of creeks and water sources. Let me see if I can, there we go. I can show you this real quick. 38 of them, and these are amazing for integrating your subjects to create a work of art from a simple photo like these. Anyway, there's several in here, so I went through and I picked out one that I thought would work well with the German Shepherd, which is this one, because if you can tell right here, the dog's feet are wet, so the dog has been in water. It was a really hot day, so the dog was panting, and I thought, what a perfect day for a dog to be crossing a creek. So I thought this would be kind of neat to put this dog in this creek of this new background. So I'm going to mask out the background from the dog, which I had previously edited the dog to brighten up the photo a little bit so I could see her details. And I'm just going to, using a big soft round masking brush, get rid of most of this yucky street background and see if I can give her a more artistic place to be. This is just one of the new fabulous collections that's been released this month. Got a lot more coming. And I reduce the size of the masking brush as I go along to get closer to the edges. And like I said, it's just a big, soft, round masking brush. You don't need anything fancy, just a round brush. But I do like to make sure it's on a soft setting and not hard, because it blends so much better. I'll just get it as close as I can. Since it's a mask, if I accidentally go over a section, I can bring it back. It's been a while since I've done a video. It's very hard for me to do videos here anymore because where I'm at has gotten so noisy. I'm doing this at 6 in the morning while I'm having coffee. I'm going to zoom in on the dog a little bit here so I can get in with a smaller brush around these edges. Like so. I want to make sure to not mask over her tongue hanging out, because I think that's an important part of the overall visual I have for this piece, because she's hot from a summer day. To get a smaller brush going in here. But I love taking just random photos like this that I thought I would never use and turning them into art. Okay, let's get a really small brush and get in here. Trying to get rid of the the white. Kind of went over that one corner of the tongue. There we go. Go down here. Go by the tail. Okay, that's fairly good for the initial mask. I'm going to put this back to the size. Now, obviously, the dog is too big. I see a spot I missed here on my mask. Get all of that out. Okay, the dog's too big, so I need to resize the dog to get the perspective right. So I'm going to resize her. And I could put her on the rock, or I could put her in front of the rock. Now, if the dog is closer to you, you'd want to go larger. Further away, the smaller size would work. So do I want her in the middle of the creek? Or do I want her a little bit larger? Maybe up here toward the front? I don't know, I kind of like her in the middle. Let's scoot her back. And if the angle's not right, I can re-angle her. Or if I want her coming off the pathway into the creek, I could mirror image, flip it this way. Oh, that might work. So let me go back to her layer. That way part of her feet could be on the ground as she's stepping into the water, maybe right here. Maybe right there. Now, let me rotate her just a tad. Oh, come on. Just to straighten her up a little. That might work. Now I want to zoom in because I want to blend her in. And when I do this, I go around the edges of her with a soft brush at a low opacity. I'm going to lower the opacity and I just blend right over or mask away the edges. To blend the background in, right in with her with a very soft brush. And I like to make the brush a little bit bigger at some point here. I'm just kind of trimming up any of these areas where I see this extra white, because those highlights don't work with this background, so I want to get rid of that white by blending or by masking over those areas and blending it in a little bit. It takes down that white, brings the color of the background right into her fur, just to tone it down a little bit because it's at a very super low opacity. Now this one right here, this foot is kind of sitting in some grass. Let me zoom in a little closer. So I can actually mask away right here where that patchy area is in the texture in the background and bring that right over her foot so it looks as if her foot is in that little patch. At least that's what I'm attempting to do. Same with this one. There's a little patch right there. Bring that right over the foot. And if you mask away too much, you can go back the other way. And let's move over here to this foot. I've kind of lost some detail on this foot, so let me bring this back a little bit. You see the white under the foot? That's where the street was. So I don't want that showing. But I want her to look as if she's standing on this ground. So I'm going both directions with the mask to kind of trim this up. And then I think I lost some of this foot. Yep. Yeah, a little bit too much highlight right there still. This is like painting. Bring back some of this one. Since this foot's in the front, I want the detail to be a little stronger on this foot, and I don't go over it too much and soften it. I do want to get rid of that white line. Go up here under these pieces of fur at her belly. You still see a little white here. Basically, I call this giving her a haircut. And I see some white, random white, over here around her mouth area. Let's go with a stronger brush and get those areas out. And around that tongue. There we go. And we bring back her nose detail a little bit. Still dealing with that highlight. That's her collar there. Let's leave that on. If you want to take it off, you could just mask it away. Like so. Okay, now let's tone that highlight down just a little by bringing some, masking away some of that. Now I like to zoom out. And then I like to go around her with a bigger soft brush and just gently tap around the edges, which mask away some of those edges, but softens everything up where there might be some lines. Okay, let's zoom back in. Now see, I masked away too much of her tail. You can see the leaves coming through the tail. Don't want that, so I need to bring that back. There we go. But when you go around with a big soft brush, it just creates a big soft blend that just softens some of those edges a little bit so they merge better with the background. Trim up this ear a little bit and bring back some of that detail I've lost on both of these ears. And then go back the other way and get that highlight toned down on the edge. There we go. Now she's a little bright because I made her brighter for the scene, which I can adjust by pulling down her exposure a little bit. I could also adjust her contrast a little bit, like so. I can also adjust her temperature and maybe warm up her tones a little bit. You go too much, she'll get yellow. So I don't want that. Maybe just a little teeny bit saturation can be brought up a little because the background's pretty saturated. There we go. And then another thing I like to do is duplicate the background and put it on top and put it in soft light mode, and then bring the opacity super far down and just turn the opacity up just a little. Notice how it's shifting the lighting a little. It brings the colors of the background right into her. And if I want her to be a little more well lit on that side, I can put some light on this side of the image using this program. I'm going to merge these two layers and make sure they merge correctly. Oh, I forgot something. I'm going to have to unmerge. Okay, let me delete the merged. Go back to the layer under her. Now, when you put a subject on a ground source like this, one thing to keep in mind is there would be a shadow here where she is standing. So I'm going to using a burn brush at a low opacity. I'm going to see that's too big. Lower that brush size. I'm going to see if I can. Now this is on the background that's underneath her feet. So I'm just going to see if I can brush in that a little darker right there, as if there's a shadow. And then I go a little bit smaller on the brush and get right up underneath her foot and adjust the opacity of that brush. It's very subtle. There we go. But it looks like there's a shadow there where she's walking. And I could even darken her foot just a little with the same brush, burn brush, just to tone down that highlight area. There we go. And maybe even these feet back here, the one I buried in the patch. There. Now let's zoom out. Much better. So now I'll merge this. And now I'm going to adjust the lighting a little bit on this side. I'm going to duplicate that merged layer. I can raise the exposure up on the image as a whole. That looks pretty good. I may not even have to adjust too much. Let's see, that's before and that's after. Ooh, I like that. I like that really, really well right there. That may be all I need to do to adjust the lighting. If I wanted to adjust saturation of the image as a whole, I can pull it down, boost it up. But I really like that. I already adjusted the saturation on the dog to match these stronger colors in the background, so I really like this. Yeah, I think that one will work right there. So let me go back and get my initial photo and bring it all the way up. Now this is the photo I did not brighten. That's what the photo looked like that I just shot randomly out my front door of this dog on the street. Very backlit, not anything fantastic. And then I brightened this, and now she has an artistic place to be. So I've taken a random street photo and turned it into a work of art that maybe tells a story, where it gives the viewer something to imagine. Where's this dog been? Where's this dog going? Has this dog been chasing something? She appears to be pretty hot. Or is it just a hot summer day? Is she thirsty? Does she like water? Is she trying to maybe jump over the water? I mean, my German Shepherd did not like water, so he would have jumped over it. Anyway, that's just an example from that collection. Haven't done a video in a while, so I thought I would do one and show you how you can take a random street photo and turn it into a whole new work of art that tells more of a story and leaves something to the imagination. Could add some birds in the background to really flesh out the scene a little more. But I think I'm going to stop right here for right now and go get another cup of coffee. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Please stop by and check out the new Summer Water Whispers collection. I'll put a link in the description below to this collection. I also have a few other new ones that will be going off sale in just a couple days. So check out the featured products on the website. And if you're one of our Daily Texture customers and you haven't signed up for the mailing list, I will put a link to that as well down below. And we also have a Facebook group for our customers, and you're invited to join that if you're using the Daily Texture resources. We all like to see what everybody creates. So, check it out. I'll put links to all of this in the description. As always, thanks for watching, and you guys have a great day.